Okay. Only 13 damage. Oh my god! The wolf is half invisible. This is not okay. This is not okay. Holy shit. Alright, so today we're going to do some wolf hunting. I'm going to showcase at least as many ways I've found that a wolf can be killed. And hopefully not die in the process, because that would definitely put a strain on credibility. When you're trying to track an animal, it can be best to go into your video settings and reset your grass rendering distance. The reason for this is that when you go and you decide, oh hey, I'm going to try to track any sort of animal, you won't end up getting like a, oh, you sense an animal nearby. You'll either get a, you failed to find any tracks, or you will actually just get a set of physical tracks. And the issue here is that you actually have to follow these if you want to find whatever you're looking for. So if you have a bunch of grass in the way, usually that'll stop you pretty much dead in your tracks. No pun intended. It may seem a little bit cheap in terms of realism. Yes, you would want to actually have a bit of a challenge, I'm sure. But there's kind of a dual challenge in that a lot of the time the tracks are not very well laid out, due to the fact that the terrain is still kind of a work in progress in this game. You can't really rely on seeing full hoofprint tracks wherever you are. And of course the fact that I'm doing this right in the middle of the night is not really helpful either. Nor is the fact that I'm trying to travel in full plate armor. But considering how long the day-night cycle is in this game, I imagine it'll probably be morning by the time that I've actually managed to find some sort of wolf, or whatever I want. Provided that I can actually see any damn tracks. There's another glitch, potentially. Oh, wait, there's half a hoof print. But I'm not getting much else. So the terrain is really screwing me here. And I think, considering the fact that it's really screwing me here, the best thing to say about it might be that increased elevation on certain terrains will decrease your chance in properly finding hoof prints. As well, you can get turned around pretty easily. Moon is to the north? Wait a second, what? Excuse me? Huh. And usually wherever you find a wolf, you'll also find a moose. So if you need to do some serious hunting, you don't really need to track both of them down, if you need both of them for whatever reason. Personally, I prefer just to hunt moose itself. But sometimes you do have to deal with wolves, and there's not much of a choice in the option. I believe so. Those are just my footprints. Alright. Then I will have to reassert this track. And sometimes it takes a few times before you manage to actually get to the animal you're hunting. Okay, here we go. It goes through a tree, through two trees, and comes out on this side. I really like how animals can phase shift through trees. Now, of course, when it shows you these tracks, it doesn't really show you where the animal has walked. Really, it just gives you a track to follow so that you can find the animal. It basically just creates these prints between you and whatever animal type you're tracking. And if I was not being such a jackass and actually paying a little bit more attention, I might not be running out of stamina. Sometimes when you're tracking animals, it'll give you a very, very far off animal. And it can be fairly frustrating to try to go all the way and find whatever the hell it's leading you to. But oftentimes, if you work things right, you can manage to pick up necessary resources along the way. You can find apple trees, you can prospect along the way to see if you can't find new deposits of ore, things like that. Just to make it a little bit more worth your time. Ah, here we are. I see a moose, and I believe I see a wolf next to another moose's corpse. So this actually might be a common spawn point. Actually makes me think if animals always spawn in the same areas or not. So, I have a few different pieces of equipment here. First, I'm going to showcase what I think is a broken pitchfork. I keep hearing that the pitchfork is very broken in the amount of damage it does. Then, I will probably showcase the claymore and how it's not really as good as you'd expect. Finally, I'm going to showcase the sling, and when using the sling, I'm actually going to downgrade into my rags. The reason for this is just to show that even without a bunch of advanced materials and weapons, you can still take down a wolf. All you need to do is make yourself a sling, get yourself some rocks, and be ready to run like hell when it starts coming after you. Now, actually, I have not tried out the pitchfork. Oh, it looks like there's 2 wolves. Is it just 2, or are there actually even more? I believe I see 3 mooses. 3 meese. Okay, ready? God damn. It's hard and it hits fast. Why are you trying to overhead the wolf? I'm trying to get it to stab, but it just continues to overhead. Bullshit. And now I'm out of stamina and likely dead. Bullshit. A lot of the times, this game does not really give you a good sense of how you need to do certain things. And I get to pass out right next to this fucking wolf. So that's great. So another piece. After you inevitably get knocked out by the wolf, because for some reason you can't actually manage to thrust with your fucking pitchfork, if you're low on your soft HP, you can sit down and it'll more quickly recover your soft HP. But your hard HP will take a long overtime period to regenerate, unless you have a proper healer. The fact that it really determines your attack based on mouse movements is rather frustrating. Honestly, I'd like to see a bit of change in the way combat's done. I don't have to look up from the ground in order to stab something. I can stab into the ground. I've done it plenty. Honestly, what I would like to see are different keybinds for different types of attacks, rather than you have to move your mouse to get a certain response. Now, this time I will be sure to attempt to stab the wolf, actually. And we'll just try to see how much damage it does, if I can actually get it off. Really? You are a bastard. You decide that you're going to run the opposite direction just for a second, just to fuck with me. What the hell? Oh wow, it ran out of stamina, I think. Okay. Only 13 damage. Oh my god! The wolf is half invisible. This is not okay. This is not okay. Holy shit. The amount of okay that this is not right now, I can't even describe to you in words. This is truly some bullshit. I can barely see the bastard. I just know that I can hear him still following me. And because of my armor class and everything, I can't really run away very fast. So I think I'm actually going to have to use a sprint. That is some utter bullshit. An invisible wolf. Are you shitting me? Here I am trying to do something of an instructional video, and I get attacked by an invisible wolf. The motherfucker is really just like legs and a mouth. That shit is not okay. Okay, so now we're going to try a different approach. Instead of using the pitchfork, instead of using my armor, which seems to be damn near worthless because bleeding effects can easily go through plate armor, we're instead going to very cheaply use a sling. Now, I have a disadvantage. Oh! You finally decided that you'd become visible again, didn't you, you bastard? Okay, then. But you're also... Oh, god damn it. Not again. Come on. How is that fair? How is it fair that I have to fight a half-invisible wolf? Seriously. Oh, fuck's sake. Now, the sling is going to be mostly ineffective because, like most jackasses who decide to throw rocks, you can't aim it worth a shit, regardless of what your level is with it. I do have a fairly high throwing objects level, but it doesn't really seem to matter. Now, when you're doing this, the safest way to go is to get your sling nice and charged up after you manage to run out of the wolf's range. The wolf will continue to follow you until you manage to get a certain distance from it. And once you get a certain distance from it, it'll stop moving. On occasion, it'll glitch and start to eat something, or it'll sit down. But it seems like every single time that I decide, oh hey, I'm going to attract the wolf again, it decides that it's going to turn invisible. And it would appear that I actually led it back to the original place to believe this is where I got this wolf from. Now you'll notice that now that I'm in the rags, I'm actually consuming a lot less energy for my running. That's because the weight of your armor does affect your stamina drain. Very, very heavily. So if you need to get away from something, dropping your weapons out of your inventory and sprinting isn't a bad idea. But your armor is going to have a huge effect as well. And if you're getting chased by an invisible wolf, well, chances are it's just going to keep coming at you. Because it's already glitched most of the way out anyways. God damn, about time. I don't even know where it is. It ran into the trees. There. Okay, so if you can, it's best if the wolf is coming straight at you. And when you throw the rock, you want to be standing still. That'll give you your best chance to hit it. Once you do hit it, and once you need to run away, switch out of your war stance and into your peaceful stance. In your peaceful stance, you can run a lot further with a lot less stamina drain. Once you get far enough away, you don't necessarily have to get yourself all the way out of the wolf's range. That's something I prefer to do. But you can turn around before and load up another rock and fail to hit. Because of the very frequent failures in managing to actually hit this wolf with a sling, I'd recommend at least having 30 to 35 stones that you can throw at it. Otherwise, you're probably going to run out before you can manage to actually kill the thing. The closer you let it get, the more likely you are to hit it, but remember that the more likely it's also to hit you. Now, when you're fighting a wolf like this, you do not want to be jumping around. If you jump downhill, there's a high chance that it will over-encumber you for a few seconds, and that will mean that you end up getting frozen, whereas the wolf can still follow you, track you down, and eat you. So even though this is a no-glitch way to kill the wolf, it takes absolutely forever. As well as something to keep in mind, when you are using your sling, it does take stamina away from you. Or at the very least, it slows down stamina regeneration. Turn invisible. Holy God, right next to him. I think my issue is actually that this wolf is turning invisible on me. Because I can barely see him, and I always end up with my rock going right to his side rather than right at him. And I've had quite a few misses in that way. You want to talk about a challenge? Here we go. Throwing rocks at an invisible wolf. God damn it, really? And now I have a bleed effect on me, again. So, at this point, I'm just going to sprint away. Because I get to go sit somewhere and pass out, basically. That's my job for the day. And pass out. And when you end up passing out, inevitably, from the bleed effects, provided that you can get away and you don't actually die from taking too much hard HP health damage, your HP will continue to decrease until, or your soft HP will continue to decrease until you hit -20. Once it hits -20, the bleed effect will go away, and you'll start slowly recovering the soft HP. Another thing that I find really, really dissatisfying is that you don't know the actual quantity of whatever ammo you have. For some odd reason, they saw fit to make it so that you could only see that if you went into your character information screen and hovered over the amount of the quantity of whatever ammo you have. You are a fucking dick, invisible wolf. Oh, did he start running away? Look at that fucker. Half invisible. I don't know how I'm supposed to fight a half invisible wolf. But it looks like he actually glitched out and is no longer attempting to kill me. So that's useful at the very least. And yet, even at this range, I still can't hit this fucking invisible wolf. It may have something to do with the fact that he's invisible. But as you can see, my throwing weapon mastery is actually fairly high at 77. Not perfect, mind you, but a lot better than some. And yet, I still can't seem to manage to hit this wolf, even if I'm right up next to him. It's unfortunate, but it's very, very impossible to aim. And as you can see, as you hold it down longer, it seems like it gets less and less aimable. So ideally, you want to throw right as you get it loaded up. But that is a challenge because you have to get it loaded up enough that it will actually throw it. If you load up your stone and just let go, sometimes it doesn't even bother to throw it. Alright, now let's see. I do have my skinning knife. Yes. So I get to show another thing. Once you're done throwing rocks at your wolf, you can skin it, open it up, and find that a lot of your sling stones are actually in the wolf's corpse. And let's see, open up. Do I get any back? Actually, no, surprisingly. I think it only works when they're still fresh on the outside. So, it looks like they all despawned before I got the chance to pull them back out. Well, let's get some more stones equipped. I don't really have enough to do anything more, but I can at the very least try to show what this would look like if I wasn't fighting an invisible wolf. Not that I won't fail just as badly with a regular wolf, but that perchance I might do a little bit better if I can actually see the damn thing. And if you don't want to throw your stone, you can switch to another weapon. If you've already got your sling pulled out and you've already got stone loaded. Yeah, there we go. This is the day of invisible wolves. It would appear that currently my game is glitched graphically, and that it favors wolves heavily. Okay, get close, get close. Bro, miss, because it's invisible. The fucker. So I do not get to show what it's like to throw stones at a proper wolf. Because all the wolves that I'm currently dealing with decide that they're going to be invisible fucks. Which makes it damn near impossible to hit them with a stone when you can't really even tell where they are. All you can see is the hind legs. Okay. Let's see if I can manage to make short work of it. It'll probably go the other way. It's probably going to absolutely wreck me. There. Not what I wanted you to do. Gotcha. Kind of wonder if I can make that work. Damn it. What the hell? Did I just like double proc the war stance? That's very weird. Okay, so that makes me think it might be possible, if you get the timing right. Oh my god. Oh, for fuck's sake. Nothing works. Especially when you're dealing with an invisible wolf. You might be able to hold off an aggressing wolf if you can get a proper thrust off. Of course, with the fact that this game requires you to do bullshit camera angles and moving around your mouse in a ridiculous manner in order to do any sort of swing coordinatedly, the fact that you could actually manage to hit anything after bothering to do that bullshit with moving your frame of reference is not likely. Basically, you have to be able to judge the speed at which something else is going damn near perfectly. It's easy enough to thrust and overhead and slice when you're not actually trying to hit anything. But when you're trying to focus it onto a specific point, it becomes very frustrating very quick, I would say. And it would appear that even though I just did that sort of attack, I barely managed to do any damage. And because I'm slowed down due to my armor class, that wolf is having absolutely no trouble following me all the way across the countryside. You know, you'd think with a claymore you'd do a little bit more piercing damage. Sure, they're not necessarily made for piercing, but they are sharp, believe it or not. Studies have proven claymores are sharp. Now, you don't want to over-equip your weapons. Sometimes it's actually a better idea to have only one weapon equipped when you're fighting. That way you don't end up weighing yourself down. Let's get into war stance again. Get out the pitchfork. Okay. Oh, wow. I actually managed to hit it for 15 damage. Not bad. So I suppose what you're going to want to do there is, if you can, get the wolf to come at you, and right as it's going to start... Oh, Jesus. Right as it's getting towards you, getting really, really close, you'll want to charge at the last second while doing a thrust. I'm not sure if I really want to tempt this wolf into killing me. Well, you know what? I actually haven't died yet in this game. Not that I really like the idea of dying while wearing full plate. That was not the attack I wanted you to do. Thank you very much for being a goddamn moron. It seems like it really has a problem choosing what type of attack you're attempting to do. Yes, I see the fact that you like to go invisible when I get within a certain range of you. Would you like to actually fight me, you bastard? 18 damage. Ooh, nice. Do not attempt to overhead. Why are you attempting to overhead? I'm trying to get you to stab. Unbelievable. Now usually, when you get them to this point, they'll actually start running away, rather than just walking about wherever they damn well please. Well, this has been a very interesting glitch to mess around with. I have not really had fun passing out twice, trying to fight these bastards. So if you'll excuse me, I think I'm going to go and lick my wounds.